Hello, my love muffins. Beautiful souls, how's it going? I'm recording this right now on a Monday and I wanted to check in and see how everybody was doing. Mondays are fun. I took a day off today for some self-care. I have shared with a couple of my classes that I've led in groups that I've been going through some major deep inner child healing, and it's these wounds that came up out of nowhere. Well, they were always there, but I thought I had transcended them. So I've been really digging in, and today I took the time off to really dig into self-love. I purchased myself a course in self-love because it's important to invest in ourselves where we think we might need a little extra guidance from somebody who is an expert in that area. So what I learned from this, I'm going to offer back to the community. I'm going to create a course on self-love and self-concept and self-acceptance and understanding what our God self is. This sort of tunes into my 555 portal course, but this is really going to be a deep dive on self-love and just understanding how important it is in all aspects of our life to really dig into how we feel about things and how we relate. And, you know, we may show up differently in different people's lives, and we may have different self-concepts about ourselves as compared to different people and different circumstances. So I ask you right now, how are you showing yourself self-love today or self-acceptance? You know, is it just allowing yourself to be who you are? Is it accepting yourself? Is it knowing that you are the God creator in your life? And through deep self-love and releasing any of these blockages in our system that keep us from, block us off, we can just really ascend even higher in our journey. It's beautiful because, I spoke about in my class on the weekend how no matter where we are in our journey, things come up. Anybody who tells you they're like 100% complete in everything, there may be the odd person on the planet there, but most people still have their shadow sides that come up, right? We still get triggered. We're still human. We are living a human existence. And when we truly understand that transcending anything is that self-love, which is self-compassion, self-acceptance, just, self-soothing, this is how we get through these times. This is how we work through these triggers. I asked myself this morning, what part of me was feeling this way? And it took me back to like a very, very little child when I was very young and things that I don't even really consciously remember. And this is how powerful our subconscious mind is. This is something from before I actually actively remember that was buried in there. And it was clear as day what it was and why I'm going through this and why I'm manifesting the things into my reality that I am. It's all a mirror. It's all a teacher, whereas before we go into like a self-deprivating, where you're being a victim of your reality, wanting to blame other people for what's going on. And I looked at it very, very openly from a higher point of awareness going, man, this is where I need to learn. This is where I need to love myself a little bit more and know that I am whole and complete at every step. That is the basis of self-love, knowing that you're whole and complete at every point. There's nothing inherently wrong with you. You've just been programmed to believe by experiences and people around you and inherited genetic traits that certain things may be the matter with you. But when you tap into that universal source of consciousness, you can transcend anything. You can release anything and step into that divinity that you are. And even me speaking about this right now, I feel like this huge energy release because it's so true. We get caught in our heads. This is what we do as humans. Our mind is meant to protect us. It's programmed. The ego is meant to protect us. And the ego is very important. But when it's looking for red flags in situations that aren't even red flags and it's assuming the worst, you're going to manifest and create the worst in your reality. It's that cycle. It's that hamster wheel. You jump back into it. When you're always assuming, you create what you assume. So what are your assumptions about things right now? What are you thinking about right now? Check with your mind. Are you consciously aware of what you're thinking? Are you consciously aware of what you're creating through those thoughts? Are you consciously aware of your dominant belief systems behind what you're going through and behind what you're thinking? Because it's rewriting those, feeling into the rewrite of those and actually becoming one with that, pairing that and rewriting that subconscious belief system. This is where the power lies in your reality. Your subconscious mind brings everything. It's that magnet. So when we close off from trauma, when we close off from triggers, we're actually calling in more negative energy. When we open our hearts in these times and tell ourselves we are whole and complete and we're perfect beings and we are love, we are the seed essence of love and we give love. What do? We open our heart, our Taurus field, and we attract more love in. And it's funny when we're in those moments, because I can tell you this, when I was in that pit of emotion, we forget these things. Even I forget them at times, for an hour, for 2 hours, and then you pull yourself up and you're like, man, I'm gonna dust myself off. I forgive myself for going there, but I'm moving forward because I'm love. I am the shit. I am the operant power in my reality. And yes, Patrick, whole and freaking complete is what we are. The world wants to tell us that there's something wrong with us. That's what our mind wants to tell us because of the way the world reflects back. There is nothing wrong with you. You are whole and complete every step. And we are imperfect, perfect beings. So I want to give you a little task today, and this has been something I've been working at because my subconscious wound is really triggered right now. So I'm finding the negative thinking cycles coming up, and they're a little more difficult to push down. So I want you to stop assuming, even if for an hour. Every time something happens and you start assuming something that's negative, stop it. Pull yourself into a positive assumption about the situation. Find the gratitude in the situation, and this will help to rewrite and pull yourself out. Even if it's something like, I am worthy, I am complete, this is beautiful, this is a gift because it's showing me where I need to go. But when you feel yourself assuming the worst, this is where we need to pull out and rewrite. Rewrite those thoughts. Where are you feeling unworthy? Where are you feeling undeserving? Where are you feeling unloved? Where are you feeling like you can't do this? Because you can. You can do anything you want. That's the beauty of life. We can all do anything we want. We just have to persist in it and be very conscious of our thoughts. And that is a difficult task at times. And I don't want to say it's difficult because then it puts that in your mind. So I'm sorry I planted that seed. We can overcome this. We can step past this. What I can share with you though is we have to be diligent in it. Because I had some things that I thought I was past and they were triggered by somebody very close to me. And it's like, holy shit, these things come back hardcore, but it's a gift because it's all about managing those emotions and understanding everything going on in your 3D right now started with an assumption, started with a belief, a dominant belief pattern, started with your thoughts. So how can you shift it right now? Shift up those thoughts. Shift up those belief patterns. Shift up that knowing. Understand that you can and you will. Don't try, do. So I want you for the next hour to check your assumptions that come in. Even if you're driving in traffic and somebody cuts you off, what are you assuming? Shift it to something good. Shift it to the song on the radio that you're listening to. When your kids trigger you or your spouse triggers you, you may be assuming the worst or being like, oh my gosh. Shift it into something positive. So much more beauty will come out of this. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I went back to blonde, Tracy. I like to go through different colors, and curly, sometimes I do curly, sometimes I don't. It's almost easier to straighten my hair. But this was a thing. I always, my hair, I used to think it looked horrible curly. It's like, well, we get these beliefs about ourselves from such stupid sources, and I'm a little harsh today because I'm just so frustrated at myself, but I'm not. I'm forgiving and compassionate at the same time. It's like, why are we going down this? I had such a week of all these triggers and they all came to head at once, which is beautiful because it means I'm transcending a pattern. When you find all this garbage comes to surface, all these triggers, all this darkness comes up, it means that you are ready to step into that next timeline. Who are you? You're the power. You are the God source in your life. There's no man up there showing you the way. It's within you, connecting to it, bringing it through your imagination, through your mind. Hi, Cynthia. And you can do it. You can do it. And I'm telling myself this right now. I can do this. I can get through this. Before, these things would have led me down a not good coping mechanism. I would have shut off. I would have run away. And I caught myself because a few weeks ago I started to do that in a moment, and I'm like, oh, and my body's very funny because I can shut off in certain ways and then keep going in other ways. But I'm like, man, I teach this. I can't, this is not what I'm doing. Like this is my body. This is how powerful my subconscious mind is. It's trying to convince me that something is happening that's not really there based on a belief that I carry in my mind still. So check those assumptions. You know, do you look at the world that it's safe and beautiful, or are you looking at all the bad going on? Because when you focus on the bad, you create more bad in your reality. Are you looking at, you know, the snow or the poopy weather outside as being not good and, oh, I wish it was sunny? Well, you're going to create more of that in your reality. It's amazing how powerful we are. I started making lists of manifestations in my phone and just little weird things. And 99% of what I write down happens in my reality within 24 hours. And that's another thing that you can test and see how powerful of a creator you are. And it's especially these little things that we manifest, we set the intention for, but then we take the awareness away. So we take the pressure off of it and allow it to flow and come to us. So yeah, that's just my little blurb today. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm just like so full of love right now and so full of compassion, which I generally am, but just even more because I've had my eyes opened to this consciousness, to how powerful it is and how quickly things can shift if we don't keep up the work, if we don't continue working at what we're doing and continuously rewriting those dominant beliefs and continuously rewriting those things. It's like, man, these things are so not true. Why am I thinking this? Because the little girl Becky, who was 2 or 3, had this horrible thing happen to her that led this belief to happen, and it manifested through every same situation in my life for 40 years. Like, it's nuts how it happens. It's so cool. But if you continue to work at it, I have seen things shift tremendously in moments when you work on the inside, work in the self-love. So if you're interested in joining a self-love, self-concept webinar group, let me know. I'm going to be writing that and planning that because I think it's such a huge topic. You know, I teach and I heal and I teach shifting our consciousness. It starts from within. It really, the seed of it is self-love, self-compassion, self-reverence, and self-concept. How you view yourself should not be wavering based on who you're around, based on the situations you're in, based on the triggers that come to you. We all will get to this place where we are trees, where we're these giant oak trees that cannot be blown in the wind. We just stand there strong. And this is what I'm going to teach, because I'm going through this right now and I'm standing strong. And I'll tell you this is how powerful we are, because we create with our thoughts. Anyway, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.